我想呢，我们就欢迎下一位伙伴 Sister Teresa 分享不对 Sister Cecilia sorry I don't know what's going on with me today okay yeah oh I should see that I'm so confusing I'm bilingual okay 那我们下一位呢，欢迎Sister Cecilia 来跟我们分享她在 Singapore 的经验，谢谢。
Good morning, I'm Cecilia, a Good Shepherd sister who is currently working in Singapore, and I would like to thank Good Shepherd Services and the Garden of Hope Foundation for giving us the opportunity to come here to learn and to share. So all of you know where Singapore is. It's a little red dot. It is the size that is slightly bigger than Taipei. So it is a city and it is a nation. It has a population of 5 million, of which 1.2 million are foreigners. So 2/5 of the population of Singapore consists of citizens of other countries. So you can imagine the situation in Singapore. Well, so welcome to Good Shepherd Center in Singapore, and we hope it is a crisis shelter. We have 3 types of clientele. That is women who suffer domestic spousal violence, foreign abused maids who have been abused either sexually, emotionally, or physically, and the third one is women who are trafficked for sexual gain. The place we hope to make it like a home away from home, which is safe, healing, and empowering. Like all your shelters here, I'm sure you do a much better job. We are all trying our best, right? Now, it is only one of the 4 crisis shelters in Singapore. We have advocacy groups. In Singapore, it's a very professional country and efficient. If you do shelter, you do shelter. You do advocacy, you do advocacy. So we have shelters called PAVE that provides advocacy group to promote a culture of non-violence in the community in Singapore. That organization too provides counseling for perpetrators, that is the men who abuse the women. And there are 4 other centers that also provide counseling for the perpetrators and the families. That is how Singapore does it in the 4 districts, and they can go. What is unique about Good Shepherd Center is it is the center. There are 4 shelters, and this center choose to provide shelter for foreign wives, abused foreign domestic workers that come from Myanmar, Indonesia, and Philippines, and tip victims from the Southeast Asia region. Why do we choose to house foreigners? It's because in Singapore, when they come from another country, they have no support system, and we believe that they are doubly abused because they are cut off from family ties, no friends, no nothing, no money, no shelter. And in Singapore, if you do not have shelter, you have no place to stay because the situation of housing is very tight in Singapore. So our programs are tailored according to the client's need. It is client-centered. Okay. So a lot of the slides you will see in the book, I will just run through. I will not speak because it will bore you. Yeah. And, okay, so I think you heard Teresa say about Good Shepherd Sisters. We are all over the world. And why this one person of more value than the whole world that guides us? Because it is from our founders who started this congregation in 1835. So this is our mission, and this is our vision. So a rainbow of hope. Empowering is very important to us. We want our women to really take up their lives, walk again with hope and confidence, no matter how messy their life has been. Duration of stay, this is stated by the government, but we always go against the government and we let them stay longer when they need. Okay, these are the various things. We accompany our clients to courts, to make police reports and visit the doctors and everything. And in Singapore, the system of the hospital are quite friendly. We give training to the police also, but they are very young men and they always change the police officers. That is our problem. So when they interview our women, sometimes they are a bit harsh. But there are a lot of them that work very well together. Margaret here worked very well with the police officer. The police officer listens to her. Now, these are some of our programs, and we have catering. Teresa called it micro enterprise. We have catering. We have cottage industries, and the workers. What is very important for them is to have money. They owe the agent. They want to feed their family. So we have a lot of cottage industries, and they send home. Because when they come to the shelter, the foreigners who come to the shelter, they have no means of work. So we provide work for them, they have money, and when they send home, and it's such a joy in the face when they can send money home to buy milk powder for their children. So these are various works there. You'll notice there are a lot of handicraft, and we have a lot of volunteers who will do the marketing and sales, and we have organizations who are social enterprise there. They will come and get work, and our ladies can provide work. Can sew all the items for them, and they pay the ladies. We make sure and we hope, we try that they pay the ladies well. So these are some of the programs to make our ladies happy and to be well. It's a holistic program. We have counseling, casework. Okay. These are some of the pictures to impress you. Funding, and we would like to share one aspect, one focus of our sharing here, that is about our success story in networking. We believe in networking. So Margaret, who is the residential manager of Good Shepherd Center, will share with you a success story of collaboration and network. Where in our service to foreign domestic workers who are abused, and for tip victims who come to Singapore because of the agents want them to earn some money. So PH is a sex tourist. She plies her trade she's from Vietnam. She will travel to Thailand, stay there for 2 or 3 weeks. Her visa will expire. Before it expires, the agent will send her to Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, and she'll stay there for a month or so. Then she will be moved to Singapore. Then she will go to Hong Kong, and she goes this round trip. And she's a sex tourist. There are quite a number of sex tourists in Singapore because of they go to sometimes Sabah, Sarawak, and they go around trip. So TH was working as a sex tourist for 1.5 years. And one day, she was caught by the police in the red light district in Singapore, and she was sent to Good Shepherd Center. Why was she sent to Good Shepherd Center? Because she was less than 18 years old. And in Singapore, if you are engaged in sex business and you're less than 18, you'll be caught. So the police sent her to our center for protection and to be a prosecution witness. And I pass you now to Margaret, to hear how the networking and the collaboration with another country works. Okay. Margaret.
When TH was brought in by the police, TH was angry, frightened, and perhaps very tired. She slept for 2 days, refusing to communicate. Her police came with an interpreter to listen to her and to help her adjust to life in the center. Together with her, there were 10 young Vietnamese girls who were in the similar situation as her. Slowly, through group work, counseling, occupational therapy, and skill development like cooking and baking, wellness program, and above all, there were opportunities to earn money to send home. TH is a prosecution witness. One day, when she came back from the immigration, she was sobbing away. We had a Vietnamese volunteer, Maria, who counseled her. She discovered that she received death threats. She was told that she will not be alive to see her father again. Her pimp in Vietnam was very angry with her for giving information that there were other underage Vietnamese tips victims. Immediately, we informed her police officer about her death threat. Maria prepared her to return to Vietnam and introduced her to One Body Village that helped returning tips victims. TH felt relieved that there was help and hope awaiting her. One Body Village had connection with top airport officials who arranged for TH to be fetched from inside the airport and exit through safely. 2 weeks after her return to Vietnam, she called us. She was very happy studying full-time and helping to care for a group of 14 years old in the evening. We are proud of TH. She is safe and responding to opportunities for education and the possibility for a better future. In our work, we feel networking is very important as the ladies need continuing help back in their own country in order for them to get out of the cycle of violence. We have similar networking with Good Shepherd Sisters in Thailand and another Catholic organization in Indonesia. Thank you.
These pictures that I show you just now are very happy faces. They are real people, and you can see the contrast. When they come, they are usually very scared, frightened. And after a few months staying with all the programs and support from the staff and from one another especially, and from the community, they are able, we are so happy to see them smile again and really take up their mat and walk with confidence, and we hope that they will continue doing so. Okay, we have a lot of challenges encountered. Do you want to hear? Do you want to hear? I have divided them into two sections. One is the government policies, that is, okay. Now, you notice that Singapore is a highly efficient country, and if you, in a recent newspaper report, Singapore is the richest nation in the world. But in terms, I'm not too sure how true is that, but in terms of social service, Singapore believes in many hands to help people. The government do not provide social security. There is no pension scheme. If you are poor in Singapore and you are not so intelligent, the top 10 percentile, it is tough. It is very, very tough. And how do you think would our dear victims of domestic violence or this, usually they have low education, they have no housing, and if the husband refuses to let you stay, and if the husband cancels your name, you cannot buy another flat, and you have a 2-year debarment, and you are also not allowed to rent. from the government, which means you have to go to the open market, one small room, which I think the whole, Miss Lee, right, from Hong Kong say it's about a quarter the size of a single room of this hotel. It costs 700 Singapore dollar with no facilities for cooking. Contrast you to their income per month is about 800 Singapore dollars or 900 Singapore dollars. And if they have 2 children or 4 children, they have no money to eat, no transport to go to work, or send the children to school. Now that is the plight. So if they can stay only 3 months, that's why I tell you, and it's a government policy, if they stay 3 months longer than the shelter, we have to do a whole host of paperwork and prove why they have to stay beyond 30 months. And the government expects us within 3 months to turn a lady with 2-3 children that have never worked before to find job, to get work, and to arrange for childcare. Now that is impossible. So we always have got to ask the government to change the policy to allow us. And the shelter, the 4 shelters, at least 3, group together to go against this law, and we carry on anyway to let them stay until they need. Because we can't let them go out and stay on the streets, especially if they have children. So that is the housing policy. The immigration policies for foreign wives. You know, we have this business where, I do not know, in Singapore, the women do not want to get married and be abused by the men. Maybe, I'm not too sure. So they go to Vietnam, they go to China, mainland China, what we call the brides, you know. They sell the brides and then they marry. And the men there, quite a number of them have mental health issues. And the wife, because they are the husband of low education level, and the wife also do not have the qualification, and they are on what they call a dependent pass. And when the husband disappears, we call MIA, missing in action. They have children who are Singaporeans, but they cannot stay anymore in Singapore. So they are in this limbo where if they go away, they have no money, and then what will happen to the children? So we are lobbying for some kind of policy where they can be allowed to stay longer, at least to look after the children, and that will give us time to process their papers or to find some other things, so that at least the children will not be almost like orphan already, right? The father disappeared, the mother have to go back. Now, for the foreigners, when they stay at our center, you notice that they have to pay a lot. They even sell their land and borrow a lot of money to come to Singapore. So when they are in trouble, they are being raped or abused. They have to run away from the employers, and then they have no money, so they are very depressed. So the MOM, that is the Ministry of Manpower, says that they cannot work. So I asked the ministry, you expect us to look after them, day in and day out, to look after the 4 walls, and they cannot work? So what happened is we have good organizations that dare go against the law together with us. Well, this is video and tape, and please don't show the government, okay? Yeah. So we get cottage industries back, and they work every day for 8 hours, and they are paid. 100% of their work goes to the women. And we help them to send the money through Western Union or through whatever way to help them re-educate the children, or even just to buy food for their family. So these are we have to fight against some policies. The other things, you know, we say that we are a shelter that care for Southeast Asia, and sometimes we have from Sri Lanka, sometimes Bangladesh, India, and language and culture is a great challenge. We are very lucky to get a Vietnamese part-time worker, and they can speak Vietnamese. Indonesian, I can pass with Indonesian, not so bad. Philippines, not so bad because they are quite good in English. But if you have from other countries, then that is a great challenge. We have to enlist a lot of help from the community, And our ladies, even Singaporeans, are very low education. They have to work very long hours, sometimes even 12 or 16 hours, just to get enough to help the family. Financially, we try to help, but that is limited. And difficulties in getting maintenance. I'm sure you know when there is divorce and the wife, even though the court say you have maintenance, but the husband will rather stay in jail for 2 weeks or 1 month and not pay the money, and so the children and the women are left without any material help too. Okay, so the bell is what I leave you with, that you will join us together to help our women to take up their life, to walk forward with hope and confidence. Thank you.
好，非常谢谢Sister Cecilia 哈，帮我们分享新加坡一个非常迷你却是多元，也是充满即使在非常富有的国家，仍然有非常需要协助的个案。那从他的分享里面，其实我们也看到，他们在跟这些妇女工作的同时呢，也因着接触生命而协助这些个案寻找希望。那我想从他的分享，我们非常的深刻感受到，当政府的社会福利政策、政治法治有缺陷的时候，其实在实务工作、田野工作者经常为了生命而做出一些开创，或者稍微游走在合法跟非法之间的社会政策。那这些其实都看到真正社工人里面所谓争权的概念跟父权的实施。好。